here. We are live, fellas.
We are here. We are
We are
here.
We are
here.
here.
We are here. We
We
are
have
live.
entered.
We are here.
We in a room. That's what it is. What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage. Jokes and Sin in the building. Jokes just barely made it into the building.
Yeah.
Hey, I made it.
Sliding
I
in the
made it.
home. Sliding in the home.
Yeah.
Made that home run. You are now officially tuned into Cutscenes, which is where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in video games because cutscenes are.
Best part of the game.
It's a fact. It's a fact. So this is technically our first regular show back. Actually, I guess it's our first show of the new year.
Yeah.
I mean, our last show that I guess you could call Cutscenes ran from last year into this year.
True.
True.
So it's a beautiful thing making it from last year into this year. Not everything or everybody made it. Some people facial hair made it. Some people didn't.
Yeah. That happened. But it's for the kids, so you know. Good
Hey,
cause.
for the
Good
chillins.
cause. Yeah.
Do it for the babies.
Yeah.
So we have some things to discuss. You know, this early in the year, we don't usually have a whole lot happening in terms of games and gaming and whatever. Like mostly you just have like, what are you still playing from Christmas or, you know, something along those lines. But, you know, with new consoles out, there's always some rumor or something happening or, you know, whatever. And because where things are a little different this year, but like this is always usually this would be a show we would come back and we'd be talking about MagFest,
Yeah.
right? The Music and Gaming Festival. So normally this show for us, MagFest usually happens like that first weekend of the new year. And you know, we'd come back and we'd be talking about all the things that we saw or participated in and you know, whatever at MagFest. And we don't have that this year. So in lieu of that, the way I'd like to start this show is by asking you two gentlemen to just share, you know, maybe one of your fondest memories from a MagFest of past.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. Don't have to be
Man.
last year.
I would say it would probably be just the first time ever going to MagFest and not really knowing
Okay.
what to expect. And
Yeah.
from that experience, kind of falling in love with MagFest. Like the whole, like, it was a whole gaming side that I didn't know anything about, like chiptunes and all that kind of stuff. And these people that are popular in that space that make really dope music, like a Mega Ran, like a Soul Bros, all that type of stuff. And like going to these big halls with all these classic arcade games, seeing people staying up all weekend till all hours of night, just having tournaments after tournament, just fun, camaraderie. You're walking through the halls, it's just music playing, all types of music. Like there's DJ booths.
So my
set
man
up.
really just not gonna pick a moment. He just gonna say everything that happened. at
Like, not like
MagFest.
everything.
And then like,
From
you know what I
first
mean? Like,
MagFest I attended
It's-
all
it's-
the
my
way
man
up
is
to
like,
last year.
it's just MagFest. There are no great moments at MagFest. It's just MagFest.
Ja like. For real. I don't have
I'm
one
not
specific
mad at
moment.
the
just-
answer, but at the same time, it's that cop out like everything.
Nah, but his answers are always cop outs. That's a fact.
Not
It's
always
never like a
cop-outs.
straightforward like. It's always like that.
It's not always cop outs. I need to know specifics to answer the question properly.
maybe I can. I think I can answer.
For a favorite moment.
Yeah, I think
I'm
I can actually
relaxed.
answer.
And on the
I think
spot,
I
I,
can answer
can't
this the
think
right
of
way.
one on the spot of a favorite moment. We've been doing MagFest for years now. It's
Yeah,
tough
that's
to
what I'm
just,
saying.
It's tough to just pick one specific moment out of.
Just say you can't. Say I can't.
I
love it
can't
all.
pick one specific moment out of all the years of going to MagFest.
All right. I dig it. All moments are created equal. I dig it. Jokes? Let's see
I'll
how
tell
terribly you do at this.
Nah, one of my favorite moments. Like one thing like I said, The music at MagFest is absolutely nuts. It's insane. It's awesome. But the gazebo, the Triforce Quartet. Now, this is one group like just everybody knows, and they announced, of course, they were going to put on a performance at the gazebo. So you didn't necessarily have to go into one of these big rooms and hope to get a seat somewhere. Everyone just came together, took a seat on the floor, and then if you actually managed to get one of those rooms in the atrium, you got one hell of a show coming out and just sitting on your atrium view and just listening to Triforce. Like,
Yeah.
they are absolutely amazing. Not to take away from any of the music that we see and hear while we're at MagFest, but like they just bring like a whole, like everyone just comes together. Like Triforce Quartet, I'm just gonna sit right here on the floor and just listen to these guys just go on for that was like a solid like 2 hours, like of just music from all over gaming, you name it. Like Zelda, Starfire, like they were all over the place when it came time for the music. But that was I think that was one of my favorite moments that we probably got to see at MagFest.
I dig it. There is one thing that always happens at MagFest. That is always my favorite thing about MagFest. And it is the Colossus roar. It is the Colossus roar. For all of the moments that I've had, you know what I mean? Like, we've met some really dope people and heard some really great music and done some dope interviews and, things of that nature, right? Staying up till stupid hours of the night and people walking around in pajamas and all that. Like, I get all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of what time of the day it is, regardless of what time of night it is, regardless of what room you're in, what hallway you're in, if you by the atrium, if you near the gazebo, if you downstairs by the front desk, regardless, when that X-Men Colossus roar comes through and it works, because it don't always work. Every now and again, somebody tries to start that wave of a roar. Hold on. Y'all can't hear me? It might be something Sin did.
I hear you clean.
I'm messing with you, dog. Chill. Just want to make sure that like out there.
Is it just him? Is it just him, or does somebody
else? Is everybody low?
Yeah.
If you try it and it doesn't work, but bruh, when somebody starts one and that joint literally roars through the entire air, like, there's nothing like that. Like, having that first question of like, what just happened?
I'll never forget that first.
Yeah.
What just happened? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a MagFest thing. What do you mean that's a MagFest thing? Like, yeah,
that's
like
a MagFest thing.
So for anybody who's never been to MagFest or hasn't heard of it, or doesn't know what it is, MAG, M-A-G, stands for Music and Gaming Festival. And MagFest has been happening in the DMV for like 20 years plus. And right now it normally takes place at the Gaylord National Convention Center, at the National Harbor, which in and of itself is a thing because of what we turned the harbor into. But
facts.
There is something special about taking time to do an entire festival that recognizes specifically the music video games. I don't think gets anywhere near the kind of credit that it should get. It really does stand up against some of the best written music of all time. But because it and really harder, because it used to be that it had to be done and squished down into a cartridge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or whatever. But it's so memorable for so many people. It stands out for so many people. So to be at a festival that really is about the music and games and have something like the Colossus Roar, which I'm going to explain. So the Colossus Roar, if you are familiar with X-Men at all, and you know who Colossus is from the X-Men, in the X-Men arcade game, when you do Colossus's special move, he does this ridiculous roar, this roar, right? And when MagFest was tiny, and they were only in like one room instead of the entire convention center, as the story goes, that game in and of itself is so loud that it overpowered everything else in the room. And anytime somebody would do that move, it would just be so loud that eventually people just started to mimic it. And then that just became a thing that, like, in the hallway, wherever you are, one of the first things you notice when you first go to MagFest is a picture of Colossus from the game with a circle and a line through it. Yep. What the heck? No Colossus? Man, that's my guy. What do you mean? You know what I mean? It's like, nah, you just can't do the roar in this area so as not to disturb the people who happen to be at the hotel and have no idea what MagFest is.
That's also fun seeing those people. Oh my gosh. Checking in and walking around looking like, what in the hell have we got myself into?
Yeah. What did I sign up for?
Yeah.
I thought I was coming for a peaceful time at the hotel near the water.
Nope.
Oh, you picked the wrong. You picked the wrong days.
Not this weekend. Like, I was trying to figure out why it was so expensive this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Colossus Roar, somebody will just randomly do it, and then other people will just follow up and do it, and then other people do it, and other people do it, and it just turns into like this incredible. It's like doing the wave at a sporting event.
Yeah.
Good analogy.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Yeah.
It's like doing the wave at a sporting event.
Oh, and at MagFest, when you can get it to go through the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like when it just won't stop.
It goes around the whole. Oh, that is so great.
And it lasts for like 30 seconds or something stupid, solid. Man. Like, yeah, like that joint, there is nothing like it. That's probably the thing I look forward to the most every time I go to MagFest. It's just hearing people just go ape with it.
Any time of day or any time at night. There is no given time
when
it will happen. It
1 in the afternoon.
Don't matter. Don't matter.
It's there.
Real talk, shout out to MagFest. I'm sad that there was no MagFest for us to go to this year. The pictures keep popping up in my memory.
Dog, who you telling?
I'm telling you and everybody watching.
Patrick Strange shared the picture. When we took when we all had the Bullet Club shirts on, that joint popped up.
Them joints popped up on my joint because I took them pictures. Yeah, MagFest is an incredible thing, man. I'm so looking forward to the idea of this getting over with
and being able to go back to those events
by this time next year.
Yeah.
Because I'll be real, I don't have it being over before the end of this year. No. But we might squeeze by. No. You know, you think?
Nah,
you think
like nah, they might not be rolling out the vaccine like that until summer. So it's not. Those mass gatherings are going to start till I would say next year.
Hey Slim, I saw a joint. The way that rollout is happening for the vaccine compared to what it's supposed to be is so bad. I saw Miami yesterday was like, not yesterday, maybe the day before. Yesterday was a whole different kind of news day.
Yeah.
Like the day before when somebody was like, all they had to do was get a vaccine at Amazon. They'd have had that joint to Bama's by Friday, Wednesday, time, yeah. Like you had that joint, like what are they doing? Yeah, it's interesting. So look, let's get into some of the news that's happened over the last couple of days. In gaming. I don't got time to get into. I mean, I have time, but we're not getting into the antics. We may a little bit because we might have to because some of the news revolves around it. But the Switch Pro. Put a finger in the air if you're tired of hearing about the Switch Pro. Just me?
I'm not tired
of
hearing about it.
What up, Perp? You not tired?
I'm just ready for the actual possible real announcement.
See, this is what I'm saying.
Same
like,
thing, yeah.
They did this when the Switch was still had a rumored name. You know what I'm saying? When it wasn't like there is no such thing as a Switch Pro right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not an actual name for a thing. You know what I mean? They did the same thing with the Switch. What was the Switch joint?
I forget.
It's probably better that way. Anyway, so look, so there was somebody did there's a I'm not even gonna try to say his name, but there's a guy who does like actually I don't know if it's a guy, so let me not say that. There is a people who is pretty consistent when it comes to data mining Nintendo's information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And apparently they have data mined like the current Switch info and found info that is related to what they are actively calling the Switch Pro, including its code name, which
code name
Okay.
is Aula, AULA,
Okay.
Aula, Aula,
Aula.
Aula.
I need to see
Aula.
the A.
Okay. Something around there.
Correct. Let me start by saying this. I don't think it's going to be the Switch Pro. I think it's going to be the new Nintendo Switch. That's just the naming convention they've been going with. That's what I think it's going to be. You with that?
I can agree with that.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
New 3DS. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's Nintendo's thing. New.
Yeah.
Just slap new on it.
Yep.
Yeah. New Super Mario Brothers. Like, really, dog? This is what. All right. So here's the thing. Obviously there's a new upgraded chip. Looks like there is an updated screen. Supposedly an OLED screen that's 4K.
Okay.
Oh.
Which already sounds expensive.
Yes, it does.
Here's probably the most interesting thing. The new chip it will come with a Blu-ray drive, which would be perfect for Nintendo to drop a because it'll be like a regular Blu-ray drive. It won't be 4K Blu-ray drive. It'll just be a regular.
Right.
That's how far back Nintendo is. Here's what I think is the most interesting thing is that the new chip, it sounds like it's still like it sounds like you can still do a docked mode and a handheld mode.
Okay.
But the chip itself appears to be in the dock and not in the handheld.
Okay.
So there are a couple of things about that I think could be what's happening. There are people who are speculating that maybe it is actually only a dock because there's been some rumors that it's just going to be like a home console. Like it's just going to be you attach it to your TV and that's really what the 4K is, you know, or whatever. If I had to wager my own monies.
What up, Alfonso?
Based on the idea that the chip is in the dock, it makes me think that they're not changing the chipset in the handheld. That basically you might be able to buy a dock that works with a current Switch. And you put that in, and the chip in the dock is now powering the system to send a 4K signal to your TV.
Believable.
You know what I mean?
Believable.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they won't sell a dock and a console together that has an upgraded screen. You know what I mean? Like an OLED screen or something like that. But if the chip is in the dock,
you sell the dock, you can sell the
and
dock
the rumors are already that it could be a standalone dock, you might be able to just buy a dock.
Yeah, and just put the
dock itself is upgraded and is more powerful. Yeah.
Not mad
and
at that.
That they're not necessarily upgrading the handheld side of it. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yes and no.
Going forward.
I would think if you're going to do like, especially at this point, I don't think Nintendo has the drive to try to compete with a Series X or a PS5, but I feel like they want to try to somewhat get close to it as far as, visuals and performance. I think not doing the upgraded screen and things like that, I kind of think will shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, granted, if it can output 4K, I mean, I don't know necessarily. I necessarily need like a Super Mario in 4K, but I know with some of these other gaming titles that are starting to make their way to the Switch, I think that would be a good plus. Like just taking, let's say, let's say Assassin's Creed. If you tell someone that you could potentially play Assassin's Creed on your Switch and get the 4K resolution out of it and plug it to your TV, that'd be kind of a cool thing for, like, say maybe a family that doesn't have a Series X or PS5, or maybe someone that hasn't gotten their hands on the Series X or PlayStation 5. Maybe they say, "I'm just gonna go after this new Switch."
For all intents and purposes, though, under that circumstance, you could just get a last gen PS4 Pro, and play games in 4K.
I mean, I see the point of going just
Series X. Although, I guess they have discontinued the Series X, and they are apparently discontinuing the PlayStation 4s, at least in Japan.
I saw that
PlayStation
too.
4 Pro is done. Perp, I see you. Switch Pro should just be a traditional console. Why though? Because here's the thing: Nintendo has always, since the Game Boy came out, had a handheld console and a home console. Always. There's always been, and I think part of the Switch's success, comparatively speaking, is really that most people play the Switch on the go. That's just really what it is. Like, I don't even really think the Switch is a home console, but it gives you the ability to, if you want to, dock it and output. And it already, if you dock it, you already get better output to your TV than you do on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for the first time in many decades, Nintendo doesn't have a split audience. They don't have teams.
They brought them all together with the Switch.
Right. They don't have their own development teams trying to develop stuff specifically for handhelds. This is DS. This is DSi. This is 3DS.
Right.
These are Wii or Wii U or GameCube. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, everybody's working on the same hardware for the first time in a long time. And so not only is Nintendo seeing an exorbitant amount of success in terms of the sales of the Switch and the game sales and peripheral attachment to the Switch, but they're also probably saving a crap ton of money by only having to pour the development costs into one team developing for one system.
Mm-hmm.
If the Switch Pro or the new Nintendo Switch is more powerful, and therefore means that there will be content that runs on it that cannot run on the old one, which is not really a Nintendo thing to do. I mean, it is, but like, not with the first new iteration of current new hardware, if that makes sense. Not with their handhelds anyway. You get a DS, you get a DS Lite, you get a DSi. All the games work on all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple here and there that maybe are a little different, but for the most part, everything works, right? You have 3DS, new 3DS, 2DS, but the games work across all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Perp. There is no real name for it yet. That's just what the media is calling it because they don't have a name for it. I'm thinking that it's just going to be called the new Nintendo Switch. That's what I think. And I think that there's a potential for them to just iterate on the dock if they do it right. I don't play the Switch. I don't travel with it. I don't ever go somewhere and I'm not driving. So I don't play it. It just doesn't have a place in my life. Nintendo handhelds have not had a place in my life for probably 20 years or more. So I'm all about the home, but for real, the games that they put out, I'm not saying aren't good games, because like they are for the audience that, you know, really wants to play them. I do think, though, Nintendo, while not necessarily specifically needing to chase the tech you find in the series or in the PS5, I do think there's a need for them to stay current. And I think that part of that need comes from the fact that the other two giants in the room and the two newest giants in the room being Stadia, laugh if you want to, but just hear me out, and Luna from Amazon are pushing to make it so you don't need a console at all and that you can play on any device you already own. So in most recent times, Nintendo's biggest hardship came with the Wii U, right?
Yep.
But why?
Because you only have one of them screens. You couldn't have multiples of them.
You couldn't take it, but so
that
far
tablet.
Too. Yeah.
So that tablet was a thing that they did to try to compete with the fact that cell phones and cell phone games were taking off and tablets were huge. Kids tablets you could get, Amazon just selling Kindle kids tablets, right. Games and stuff you can play all over the place. Hey dog, what is he talking about, Ellis? What are you talking about, dog? What are you drinking, Ellis?
What you think?
And
wrestling alcohol.
Facts. That wrestling tequila.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, Joe?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, look, Apple is coming for the gaming space. Microsoft coming for that gaming space on phones, iOS and Android, right? Sony doing the same thing. Like, you can technically stream from your PlayStation 5 or 4 to another platform. Like, there are ways to do it. They not necessarily making it super easy for you to do, but there are ways to do it. And when you're getting that kind of fidelity and those kinds of games, and you can take those on the go, Nintendo has to start looking at what is happening in the mirror and beginning to really prepare themselves for the fact that this is about to be like what the Wii U was, where the Wii U was unable to compete with being able to walk around anywhere in the house, possibly even go outside and play. The Vita better than the Wii U, right? Vita's released with the ability to pay a monthly fee and get 3G. It was a long time ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? And play wherever you wanted. So the idea of them maintaining what they have in the handheld, even if they do give it a slight boost or give it a better screen, but making it so that when you dock it, that does increase the resolution to 4K, because you're going to notice the difference.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
As more and more people get those 4K TVs, and that price is way down by comparison now. Now you have kids that have 4K TVs in their rooms. The difference between what they're getting out of one console and what they get out of it's going to be noticeable, because you can play Fortnite anywhere, and it does look different. Ask my daughter if it's different when she plays it on her TV versus when she plays it on mine. She don't got no 4K. This close, though. This close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prices
This
are right
close.
on. It's like
her TV got a line down the middle. You know, I can't live with that. Like, it's driving me crazy.
So in other words, it's like this close now.
It ain't that bad.
But it's driving you crazy. I know it is.
Hey, it's
But
as
I'm
thin as
lying,
that line.
dog. Like,
It's driving you crazy.
That line will drive you nuts.
Every time you look at it,
Just go over and walk past the TV, just like,
Yeah.
damn, that line.
Joint, you know, she getting used. Look. She in the comments. Look. Woo! Look, Ellis said, get her a TCL. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the prices are coming down so much that, like, now, when you are playing the Switch, you hook it up to your TV, that difference is becoming noticeable. So it is time for them to do something, I think. right?
Yeah.
And at least make the attempt to stay that. Like, if you're not gonna do it in the console itself, at least try to give us the resolution.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think they should do it in the console as well, though. Put some upgrades in. Like, don't just come out and try to sell us a dock. Do it in the system itself as well.
At least do something. I could get it, but just think about that though. If you put that all inside of the actual handheld, I can only imagine.
Hold on, I'm not saying put it all in, because that chip alone will drain the battery.
I know there's 2 lines, Edie. Leave me alone.
But she said make it 2. But the fact of how hot that thing would get, and you would lose the thinness of it. Like, it can do some of the small things, but don't overdo it. Like, I don't need I don't need walking with a Wii U pad as my Switch.
No, I'm with you.
Realistically, right? Having put the Switch Lite out, right, which does have better battery life already. Like, those are some of the things that are in this new chip, like better battery life, that kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Which is going to be harder to actually do if you go up to an OLED screen. Like, if you go up to a higher resolution screen, that doesn't, like, it's going to be harder to maintain that battery life. But if you also have to consider COVID right now and what that is doing to manufacturing and so forth. So the idea of trying to put out a new handheld console, especially when so many people just bought Switches, if you can put out a dock and the dock has the chip and you can't get the little tiny screens that you need at the rate that you need to be able to put them in, being able to say to people, hey, you can technically upgrade your Switch by docking it and playing. It's kind of a safe play.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
It is. It is the expansion pack.
Yeah. Back on 64.
But you know what? And then when everything starts, it would, like, getting back to a normal sense of saying, maybe if they decided they want to go ahead and say, yeah, we're going to drop these OLED screens in new versions of the Switch, they can just go gung ho for it and not have to worry about.
What's out now is a newer version of the Switch, not the Lite, like the actual Switch.
Yeah.
Is a new Switch with a newer chip and a better battery life. That's already a thing.
Oh, you drinking the Crown right now?
My man got that Crown.
See, you on the same place? Like, I got the Crown sitting here. I got the Terramana sitting here. You're on the same page, Alex.
No.
I mean, but are you sipping?
I'm not sipping right now.
Yeah. All right, well then you wasting Ellis's time and mine. So look, do we care? Like, if as you guys both own Switches,
mine's sitting right here. Yep.
There's a Switch in my life. That's all I'm gonna say about that. What would it take for you to care? What do they have to say? What do they have to announce? What does it have to do for you to actually care? For you to say, I'm done with this joint, I want the new joint, or to be like, yeah, I'm down, I'm gonna get me a dock. What do you have to do? What has to happen?
For me, I mean,
price got to be right.
It's just about the price.
I did that.
Yeah.
I just need some.
What's right? What does it have to be?
Are we talking
below
just the dock or the combination of upgraded system and dock?
Give me both.
System and
Switch
dock.
is what, $399 and has never come down? $299.
Not $299. I'm about to say,
and it's never dropped. $299 and the price never dropped.
I would do $350 max for a new Switch.
Okay. That's you're talking about the combination.
Yeah, combination.
Okay.
Yeah, combination.
The dock by itself right now is what, 80?
80, about $80.
I was gonna say for a dock, I do 150 max.
Yeah, I was gonna say between 1 and 150.
If the Joy-Cons don't come off, if it's like a Switch Lite, if the new version doesn't have Joy-Cons that come off, which again nobody's really using that anyway, but if they don't come off, should the price be lower? Do you care about any of that? Hey, listen, honestly, if you would like to start a GoFundMe for Edie to get a TV, by all means, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she's going to be all in the chat like, yeah. Fund me a TV.
I think
I'll be real with you. You'll actually be funding me a TV and she'll get my old joint. That's how that works.
Smart man.
True.
Smart man.
But honestly, I wouldn't care so much.
Like, she's not going to have a newer TV to me. That's not.
I wouldn't care if the Joy-Cons detached, because 90% of the time I am using my Pro controller
Same
If
here.
I am out and about, like the games that I'll be playing on anyway don't necessarily require me to use the Joy-Con separate. So it wouldn't bother me if it ended up just being one setup. You know what? If I do need to use separate Joy-Cons, I'm gonna take them off the other Switch and I'll just use those with it, pair those up and use it with it. But it wouldn't bother me if it ended up just being one solid unit.
I don't think.
Hey, Ellis, I'm getting ready. We getting ready to teach Edie to play Halo. It's getting ready to go down.
I don't think it would
Oh,
bother
yeah, that's right. You
me
know,
as
Xbox
well,
anymore.
jokes. But I think for the people who have who went out and bought multiple colored Joy Cons and stuff like that, it will probably be smart, to make sure you can switch them out for that audience. But it wouldn't personally bother me as well because just like you, I don't disconnect them from it. Games I play don't require that. I use either the GameCube controller for Smash or I'm playing with the Pro. So, yeah.
Hey, listen, Edie in the comments like I'm trying to be irritating, but I really want somebody to start this GoFundMe. She like give me this TV, Like, nah, she says it's in the process of download because I've been told I was like, you need to download Halo, you need to download this Master Chief Collection because we about to get it in. So she yeah, it's about to go down.
I take it a reach.
Yeah, I know. You're not gonna get 2.1, no ray tracing. Listen, for me, I need to go 4K, 2.1, 120 hertz, and then she can take the old joint, and she'll be happy with that. That's what she got now. Is the old one I got when I replaced this one. So, okay. So Nintendo purchased Next Level Games, like over the weekend. Undisclosed amount. Do we care?
Cool.
Do you even know who they are?
Yeah, I know they make some of their stuff.
Luigi's Mansion 3, if I remember right. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
But honestly, I mean, kudos to them. Like, I don't really care. Like, but kudos to them.
What do you think the reasoning behind making a purchase of Next Level Games? I mean, not that like Luigi's Mansion did well. Like, I get that. But why do you think they bought them? Do you think that they want them working on something for this new console that is supposedly coming? Do you think there's something coming down the pipeline? Are they going to add them into the Metroid 4 team?
Something like that.
Prime 4, something like that?
I think you may have hit that nose right down on the nose. Like,
I mean, the fact that they've done enough games with them, it could, be a working relationship that they like and enjoy and want to just kind of bring them in house and work on other projects and stuff like that. Could be that too. I can see all of it.
I really think they just was trying to keep them from working on other people's stuff. Like, I think they like the work that they've done, and they want to manage to keep them so that I think, like, the only thing I can think of that they did, of course, it would be a Spider-Man game, Spider-Man Friend or Foe. Outside, because almost everything else they've done has always been Nintendo related. It's almost like how Insomniac has almost only ever done games for PlayStation. So they finally bought them. You know what I mean? But Next Level Games basically started putting it out there that like they might be looking to get picked up, and I think maybe Nintendo was just like, y'all might have. I feel like they might have too many Nintendo secrets.
It is like, look, we need to pay y'all. Come join.
Could be a thing.
Join
yeah.
us.
Could be a thing. Yeah.
Real talk. So like, I have a question for y'all. Having talked about the possibility of a Switch Pro, new Nintendo Switch, whatever it's gonna be called, them making purchases of a new studio, which is not a thing you really hear about Nintendo doing very often. But Sony's been buying studios, obviously Microsoft's been buying studios. And now that the new consoles exist, what are we? Do we feel like we're in the next gen? Like, what do we need to see? What do you feel like needs to happen?
My man throwing jokes in there.
Trifling.
And listen, and that Joy-Con drift a real thing. And I was gonna bring that up and ask if either one of y'all had Joy-Con drift. Somebody wants some new Joy-Cons. You don't really use it that often, and you're a better Fortnite player for it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do we need to see? Like, what
I don't think we.
would make you really? I think what do you think will make you feel like you have a next gen console?
that
I
next
don't
gen
think
title.
we. Yeah, that's what's it. I don't think we've gotten that game. What we thought Cyberpunk was going to be that one that we were going to get that was going to supposedly be the game. That didn't
I
pan
mean, did
out
you know? Because we
I
knew
didn't.
that wasn't going to be a next gen version.
Yeah,
until
You know what I mean?
right.
Like we knew they said we're not putting out the actual
The actual
next gen
next gen,
version
right?
until
Until
sometime next
sometime
year.
next year. But I
So
mean, just from what they were saying, like gameplay and all these type of things, it still didn't hit the nail on the head. I think right now what we're missing is that game, that one game that truly is one pulling the performance of what these boxes can do. Now, don't get me wrong, with some of
that's
these
not Astro's
upgrades.
Playroom.
Nah, I don't think that's actually. I actually
I'm
got.
not
I
even
actually
trying to.
got to.
I'm not
I know.
even trying to be funny.
I actually got to
I'm
play
being
Astro's
dead. I'm
Playroom.
being dead ass, and I say that because right now, I mean, yeah, we have better resolution, and
My
you
man
know,
got his
fast or
Cyberpunk
whatever.
return today.
My man. Probably the thing that does the most to separate last gen and current gen is Sony's new controller. Would you agree?
Mhm.
Like literally Microsoft, I don't know if y'all look, yeah, I mean, Jokes, you're in the early
The
program for
super
Xbox, right?
skip ahead. I'm in the whatever the top
Alpha
one is.
program.
Alpha. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in that one.
Sin, you're not in that?
I don't believe I am.
So they've been asking like, hey, do y'all want a
you want a
controller that
controller
does
like that?
that kind of stuff? Cause we could do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're asking,
Yeah.
like, I do
I-
think, and I would say that most people are saying that probably the biggest differentiator is that.
Mhm.
Now, they didn't say that when Microsoft did it in their controller last gen. There were people who talked about it in some games. And what Sony has done with it isn't really all that different from what Nintendo already did
Right.
in the Switch. However, it still seems to be a key differentiator. And I don't know that I think that a peripheral should really be the thing
That separates.
that does that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right? I would say that last gen, Microsoft was banking on the Kinect being part of that difference in what was next gen versus not. Like the upgrades and stuff that they put into Kinect 2.0 versus the 360 joint were immense, but it's still people were pissed off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, exactly. They did a survey. So, what's the game? I saw they dropped like a 14-minute like early preview of the Medium, which drops at the end of this month, free in the Game Pass. I don't know if that'll do it or not. Maybe that will be the thing because again, it's supposed to be really using the power of the SSD to swap, you know, from one version of the game to the other. Maybe that's gonna feel like a thing.
I think
I'm not super interested in the Medium as a whole, other than the fact that it can do that.
Right.
But even with that, I probably wouldn't buy it. But the fact that it's gonna be in Game Pass, that joint's already downloaded.
I was saying.
I downloaded it already.
Oh, my terabyte's gone.
I know that.
Oh, I got space, but that thing ain't getting downloaded.
Oh, my terabyte gone.
Well, I'm gonna get it because I want to see. Like that is the first real next gen title being released. It's not an Xbox One title.
Mm-hmm.
It's only an X and S title, technically. So I want to see. I want to see.
See, but yeah, definitely.
I didn't say I'm gonna keep it, but I know you don't do scary, so like that's cool. I get it.
That's out anyway.
Yeah, I get it.
No, but I agree. That's what we need. We need something that only runs on these generation of consoles. I think to start feeling like we're truly in next gen.
Let me ask you this: do you feel like it's always gonna be this way from now on? That like console releases will feel like a deal, like a big deal, for like the first week, but that then it's like, all right, it's my console. In the same way that like when a new iPhone comes out, when they announce it, it's all anybody talks about for a week. Then it becomes available, and then it's all people talk about for like another week to a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, as people start to get them in their hands or whatever. And then they just shut up because it's just another phone that has a better camera and it's faster than their old joint. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? And you still see people walking around with 8s, 10s, 11s, 12 Pros, 6s, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, like, and people are just like, yeah, nah, I got an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, they don't really, it's not really, I mean, it's a big deal in the moment for all the people who are going to jump on the new thing. Right? But is it likely to just feel like this?
I think so.
I pretty much have my mindset that we're gonna get another console 2023.
That's about right. I think that's definitely like it's even crazy to think about a mid-generational upgrade. I mean, just seeing the upgrades that we've seen, like Destiny 2 for me, just seeing what that game looked like, adding the X version of it and playing it, like it plays like a different game. So just imagining that we could get another general or like a half step. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, going from the 1 to the 1X like was a difference just in like performance and things moving like that. We thought that was amazing. Then we got the Series X. So if they do that same type of mid upgrade going from a Series X to a X2, I don't even want to think about.
Did you see the patent for the Xbox XS like last week?
Nah.
Nobody really believes it's gonna be a thing because that would be like dumb.
Can't name that joint XS because that's what Apple named their iPhone. They can't do that.
Horizon Forbidden West probably won't be because they've already announced that it's a PlayStation 4 game.
Yep.
Yes, it's.
You see what I'm saying? Like that was the game that people were banking on. Like Sony was making all that noise about we don't believe in you know what I mean? We believe in generations and we're not supporting PlayStation 4 anymore. And it was like, oh yeah, nah, that joint's gonna be and for Spider-Man to get announced to be on both made more sense because it was coming out now.
Right.
But a lot of people were like, but nah, what you mean you're gonna put, you know what I mean? Horizon's gonna be on the PS4, like that feels like you eating your own words. Like,
oh no,
I don't know.
Oh, they step back on their words.
Oh, big facts.
Sure, all the time. I don't know that that's gonna be the game that really pushes it.
I don't think it is
because it is gonna be on both. And right now, even though I don't think people are right about it, many people still have their mind made up that as long as developers are having to develop to the lowest common denominator, they'll never get the full fidelity out of what they're working for on the new one. But the thing about it is, that's never really going to go away. Like if Microsoft comes out and says, we're going to continue to develop games and there'll be games that come out that work across all the Xbox One family along with the Series family for the next 18 months or so to 2 years, by the time that's done, we're moving on to the next console that they do that again. You know what I mean? And so the Series stuff works on whatever the newest joint is, and then that just continues to move forward, just like how your apps carry over with you when you get a new iPhone. So I don't really think, to a certain extent, that's going away. But if you're, no matter how it comes out, no matter how good it is, no matter how great the ray tracing is or the effects or whatever are on the PlayStation 5 version of Forbidden West, there will always be people who feel like that game is being held back by the fact that they also had to develop it for the PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? Again, I don't really think that's the case because, again, people been developing for PC, and PCs always have to play to the lowest common denominator because you do have a minimum spec you have to hit. But if you're only at that minimum spec, you're playing potatoes versus what you can really get the best version of Cyberpunk doing. You know what I mean? By the way, again, Stadia running phenomenally when it comes to running Cyberpunk. And
that's what I've been hearing.
Cyberpunk on Stadia is the only version of that game made specifically to run on Stadia. Like, like there is no other version of the game that's made specifically to run on the console it's on. And it's not specifically made to run on PC. They are technically running a PC version of it, but it's an outside developer. You know what I mean? That was brought. It's the same development team that brought Mortal Kombat 11 over to the PC. You know what I mean? Like, they went with an outside developer that basically developed a new version of the game to make it run on Stadia. And it's like hitting the mark. Like, if you right now can't find, can't afford, or ain't ready to spend the money on a PlayStation 5 or a Series console, you can spend $40 and grab a controller and get a Chromecast and play Cyberpunk way better than you can run it on a PS4, a PS4 Pro, a Series X. I mean, a 1X. Like, you can outdo it. There is a statement being made for Stadia right now, which, again, is one of those things for me where it's like, Nintendo got to watch what's going on. Because Stadia is also intended to run on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You go right now, you can look. Digital Foundry just released a video today comparing the Stadia version to the Series X version. And they did that joint on city Wi-Fi, sitting in the car. Yeah, bruh. Yeah,
Okay.
bruh. Like, and keep in mind, Nintendo has been releasing stuff that works over Wi-Fi, right? Resident Evil, Control on there. Like, you don't get the whole game. You get a portion of it and you download the rest of it. So that landscape's changing and changing real quick. I don't know if I'm
Facts,
happy
Ellis.
with what I have in the series, but straight up, that it used to be that I turned.
Yeah, but since we
Yeah,
don't
since
have
we're
not here,
it's
nobody
not
over here.
affected.
So I do feel like having the Series X is like the jump from my 1X to from my 1 to my 1X. It just feels like it's faster, it's better, it looks better, blah, blah, blah. And I have all of that. And for real, man, just how quick that thing turns on. Like,
Yeah.
in there.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the quick resume sometimes actually surprises me. Like, I'm thinking I'm gonna boot this up. I might have to go into the game, but sometimes I just turn on certain games and it just pops up and it comes right back to the same point. Is like it still surprises me.
it's a game changer. Did you get an update last night?
I think one came through this morning. I think I rolled over and just let the update go through. Yeah.
I did. Just trying to check
Yeah,
that thing
I
out.
get them Jones like clockwork. So it's like I don't be paying no mind anymore.
So a couple more things before we wrap up. I want to talk about Outriders getting pushed back. I know that we seemed like we were a little excited about Outriders.
Yeah.
But they are giving us a free demo.
Yes,
dope.
I was actually
Which is dope.
February 25th.
cool with that.
Which is cool because you get all 4 classes. It is single player and co-op, and your progress carries over
Sweet.
to the full game if you
Dig that.
go full game. To me, that's how you do it if you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially
And then they
when
apologized and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna put this joint out on April 1st. We're not
First.
joking though. Not a joke.
I was like, that was
April
fun.
1st.
I was like, don't do that.
But that's
Don't-
dope. When you push something back that people were waiting for, you're like, you know what? Let's throw out this demo and all the things you just said to cover like that. That's a great way to appease the people that are looking for it. That's dope.
Real talk, I think Cyberpunk scared them. I'm not even joking. If you look at the wording that they put in that message they put out, I think Cyberpunk scared the brakes off of them. Straight up. Like,
Probably a lot
let
of
me see.
people.
Hold on, let me pull that joint up. Yeah.
A lot of people.
Hold on, let me see. Happy New Year.
Cool.
We believe it's important that players get to experience a new IP like Outriders before, underline, dog, before release, so that you can decide for yourself whether the game is something you wish to pre-order, purchase, or play. For this reason, we're excited to announce it on February 25th, 2021. We'll be publishing a free demo. Yeah, straight up. Like, yeah, we ain't about to do that. And listen, I'm telling you, that joint, what happened with Cyberpunk has changed the industry. Absolutely changed the industry. And we're now in a place where Sony and Microsoft almost don't have a choice but to change what their return policies are because you have consoles that have no disk drive on them. There is no other store to take it back to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to put out something that only I'm telling you, like, if the U.S. government gets involved in whether or not they got to do refunds or not,
it's going to
you might as well just listen. It's always better to self-monitor. You always self-police. Just that's what the ESRB is. The government tried to get involved. Y'all need. You know what? We created a ratings board. We got people that sit down and look at the games, man. We show them everything, including the hot coffee. I mean, we didn't show them hot coffee. Nah. We made a mistake.
Don't worry, we got this.
Yeah, like, it's always better to self-police before the government gets involved and start telling you what you have to do and create their own oversight committees and whatever. It is going to happen. It's the same reason why they are policing what they do with regard to, you know, microtransactions. You know what I mean? And whether or not you can see what you're getting ahead of time and whether it's gambling or not, like, all of that stuff is stuff that they have to kind of make sure that they deal with that up front. Before we step out, Sin said he wanted to start doing a slightly new segment where we talk a little bit about what we're playing. Sin, talk to the people. And you got a job to do.
Yeah, I've been diving into Assassin's Creed. Starting my new year off with that. Valhalla. It's I'm kind of digging it so far. It has a multiplayer component of it that I'm looking forward to. Like once y'all finally get into it, where you can create a warrior and send them off to other people's games. And they come back with money and stuff like that. So yeah, that's
like
cool.
In Dragon's Dogma.
Yes, just like that. Yeah. So once you get to your settlement,
I mean,
you can build a barracks, and that's where you get that person at. So that's kind of cool. Still diving heavy in Yakuza. I'm stuck on this little management mini game I need to figure out because I get a character.
You need me to come over there and play that, don't you?
No, it's like it ain't like button pressings and all that type of stuff. It's a little bit of everything in one. It's in true Yakuza fashion. It's fun, but you're managing a company and you gotta go to shareholder meetings and look at your money and all this type of stuff. But point is, you get a character for doing that. So I just want the character, and then I can back out of it and not mess with it unless I want to. Huh? Oh, yeah,
that works.
Yeah. But those are the big things that I'm diving into heavy right now. I'm trying to beat them. I'm giving myself by March to try to put the kibosh on these. Because I want to have all the DLC for Assassin's Creed before it comes out. Because I know if I beat it before I get that DLC, I'm not going to go and play it. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to.
I mean, it depends on whether or not you need to be at the end of the game or reach a certain level before you can play it.
To it, yeah.
That's how some of the DLC was in the last two. It's like you need to have finished this joint
max
before
your
you
character out before you can touch it.
Yeah, definitely. And usually they drop around sometime in February and sometime in March for Assassin's Creed, like the DLCs. So kind of trying
after the first quarter, the game's been out.
And I will say one thing about it. I'm really into this one more than I've been into in a long time, and I think that's because in order to kind of prep for it, I know nothing about Viking culture whatsoever. Just that they're a bunch of badasses.
Watching the show?
Yeah, that's why I started watching it. If you have the time and you're interested in it, I would highly suggest watching it because now all of their references and people they're talking about, I completely on board. I understand.
You know what it is?
Yeah, like they're naming people, and I'm jumping up off the couch like, oh, shorty in this joint. Oh man, we about to go meet the four sons. Oh, about to turn up. Like it's actually get me really excited about it. I'm knowing all these things. So if you have the time, I would suggest watching it. It'll definitely help you get into it a lot more. But I'm still very early on in it story wise, because you know how Assassin's Creed games are. Like it's just space and places to go and things to track down, and I'm just building up skills and all over the map right now. But that's the big thing I'm probably working on throughout this month. Those two games, chopping those down.
Only thing I really don't like about Assassin's Creed right now is I don't like that they hide the skill tree from you. Like that's the dumbest. I've never seen something so dumb. Like generally, like I look at a skill tree and I start planning like what I'm gonna open next, and they made the expanded portion of the skill tree is like cloudy, like you can't see what abilities or whatever are where, and I don't like that.
I can agree with
But
that.
that's it. It's cool. I'm playing a bunch of indie stuff. Call of the Sea.
Okay. How's
Man,
that?
it's this joint. Oh, bro, I downloaded a free trial of this joint called Shadow Tactics.
Why does that sound familiar?
I think because I think we talked about it before.
Okay.
It's like a top down. It's a top down stealth action strategy game
I think we
Mm-hmm.
did
with
because I
like
think you
four
said
different
that
characters that
exact.
have different powers. It's not. Yeah, like you can stack their like their abilities onto each other, but it's not. I mean, it's not co-op. This is a joint that came out like a little indie joint called Wilma's Where most of it's Game Pass stuff. I just been on more cred. I
That's
tried
yeah.
that joint messed my head up. Um, I didn't really like that joint. I mean, it's okay,
Okay.
but that joint just wasn't quite cranking for me. I tried Unto the End, which has sort of a like a flat. You remember Flashback?
Yeah.
It has sort of a flashback
Ooh.
vibe to it, but
But
I don't know. It just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't quite hold me.
you said it's on Game
It's
Pass.
it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Grab it real quick.
It's like old like caveman joint. You just kind of wandering. You find stuff. You gotta pick stuff. Like it doesn't tell you anything. You
Mhm.
just gotta go. Which again, I respect. I just, you know. And then I did pick up this joint called Neon Abyss, which is just like this crazy shooter joint. Also Game Pass. I was gonna start the new ukulele joint, but I didn't play it. Edie played it for a second. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I started playing Watch Dogs Legion again.
Okay.
But I'm still, me and the Cayo Perico, man.
Hey, robbing these dudes.
Gotta
That's
get
what
this
we do.
money. Gotta get this money.
What you playing right now?
So yeah,
Jokes?
so that's it for me. What about you, Jokes?
A lot of more for me, a lot more multiplayer type stuff. I've been on like Call of Duty Online, in Cold War, so I'm like halfway through my first prestige on there right now. I just downloaded Greedfall, in Game Pass.
Mhm.
Kind of interesting, like set during like the
I downloaded it. I just didn't play it.
17th century,
Same here.
type thing. So little different type thing. So far it's kind of cool. I feel like there's a lot of talking. So it's almost like think of how like you have the conversations in Mass Effect. Now it doesn't necessarily have the like the good or bad answer per se, but you have to like drill down and like ask, like you can ask like tons of different questions.
Mhm.
And I'm going through each of them because I don't want to miss one of them, and then somehow that one conversation that I missed ends up somehow paying off later down the road or something like that. So just trying to make sure asking and talking about every single thing that comes up in there.
Nick is asking, do you think Greedfall is worth it? I mean, it's in Game Pass, so if you
It's
have
in
an
Game-
Xbox and have Game Pass, then it won't cost you anything.
Yeah,
I
I
would
was
say
like-
go ahead and give it a try. But
if it was like a 60,
based
that's
on
a
what you
$60.
played, would you
Yeah.
buy it?
If it's a $60 title right now, I'm not about spending $60 on that game. At least right now, I'll say like $40 because I don't really see like extra stuff that you're gonna really get out of it other than playing straight through this story. I don't know if there's gonna be like some other type of DLC or anything like that coming as of right now, or if that's kind of just gonna be the straight playthrough type of thing. But right now, $60 probably not the price point for it. I know I just saw a random pop up that apparently it's in like the Europe PlayStation Store. It's going for like 10,000, whatever their dollars are. It's like overpriced for some stupid. Yeah, something stupid. It's a glitch. It's a
I don't
glitch.
need you to know what them dollars mean, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was, but either way, it's a glitch. But outside those two, and then I'm like mobile game. Like I've been playing Dragon Ball Legends. Like that joint has
Yes, you have.
has absorbed me, and it's a mobile game. But like after finally getting getting Broly and Gogeta, like I feel like a lot of these people that are online they try to cheat as much. They're finally starting to balance out the game and kind of weeding them out. So a lot of people are like trying to like lag switch, and so like the connection goes in and out. So when you're fighting, like, so it's when it pops up, so you have like cards.
Too much, bro.
Yeah, you have like cards on the screen. Pretty much, you tap the card, it activates your attack on there. But when they do the lag switch and like it goes in and out in the connection, you're literally just sitting here tapping the screen trying to get your attack to go off. But they're still over on their side, attacking, dodging, doing all the stuff for it.
Let me ask you a question. Next month when we revisit this, is he still gonna be playing Dragon Ball Legends?
Nope.
Yeah, well.
Next month?
Yeah, next month.
Yeah, well. I most certainly guarantee, because the thing is, they're gonna release someone new's gonna get added for some banner that I'm gonna have to go through and struggle to go through to pull whoever it is. Because I think at this point now, since we just hit the anniversary of the Broly movie, I think we're looking at potentially the GT saga is going to get some type of buff in the game, and that's probably my favorite team to run with. If they do that next month, yeah, I'm going to be stuck inside of it still.
If they do it next month.
If they do it, but I'm going to be playing it. Like all my friends, like everyone at work, I've somehow gotten everybody to play it at work now. Like at one point,
no people into playing this.
No, at one point, like everyone at work was in Pokemon Go. I had got out of it and I was playing. Yeah, I was playing Legends, and then I was like, "This is a Dragon Ball mobile game." I was like, "Yeah, go download it. It's free."
It's awesome.
For the most part.
Target audience out there.
Why are you not playing this with me?
Nah, hey, listen. How much money have you spent in Dragon Ball Legends?
I don't even want to. I don't even want to even
Sir,
try to start.
Tell the people.
Disclose.
No, I'm serious. Like I don't know. I will tell you, just in the Broly and Gogeta banners alone, I probably dropped at least $100 in there. At least.
Jeez.
Yes. Yes.
Woo.
Yes. I thought that was bad, and then I found out one of my coworkers dropped like 200. I was like,
yeah, but you probably did that same thing. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You only saying 100 because you don't know.
I said only in this banner.
Yeah, he said
hey,
just
yo,
do that.
this banner spent his stimulus.
Pretty much.
I haven't even gotten it yet.
That's what his check went.
That's where it's going.
No, that don't got other players.
Oh,
That's like this type of stimulus check.
Hey, just make it out to Dragon Ball Legends.
It's gotcha game. Hey, and they
doing their
thing.
Just deposit the coins or whatever to my account. Just deposit in there.
Hey, no, can you imagine how bad it would have been if MagFest had actually happened this weekend and there were other people at MagFest playing this joint? Can you see this Bama losing all of his money just buying?
He would have been no good.
Nah, I got a decent enough team that I can square off with people. So I'm good.
You say that, MagFest might have put you down though.
MagFest would probably ruin.
You know what I'm saying? Like they come from everywhere. Like,
yep.
This my man say. And how long you been playing this joint? A month?
Playing like I've played it when it originally came out. I fell off of it for a little while, and then I got back on it. But probably within the last, I would say, 3 months, I think I've just been all in for Legends. Like that's like the one mobile game that I play, because typically I don't really play anything on my phone as much. But
when last time you played your PC?
Not actually. I played Destiny on the PC because I wanted to see. I kind of want to do a compare that, but that's still probably been like 2 months.
My guy, how much money did you spend on that keyboard and that mouse?
Well, I give you the retail cost of it, because I didn't pay the retail cost of it.
You sound like me. Now. You sound like me. Well,
hey,
set. You ready to spike this joint?
Dog, but the mouse though, retail, that's a $90 mouse. But the I don't have a separate keyboard. I'm just using, because I have a gaming laptop, so I'm just using the keyboard on the laptop.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
You are too funny, sir.
Hey, Sin, you got a job to do.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and shout out our top tier patrons.
Please do your job, Sin.
Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dorsch, and Tyrone Carson. We appreciate it. Thank you very, very, very much.
Jokes, you got
Yes,
a job
sir.
to do.
Done.
So for those of y'all who are watching, wherever you're watching, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're in Twitch, assuming the Twitch is working, because I know Twitch was down earlier. Or if you're in Twitterville, there is a link that our good friend Jokes has just put up to our link tree so that you can find all our socials, all that kind of stuff. If you're following us in one place, if you like what you're seeing, if you like the discussion, what have you, please, by all means, go and follow us in those other places. It just definitely helps us out. Take a look at our Patreon. You can get in and help us out for just $1 there per month. We have Sin, did you post a new question yet for Patreon for this month?
I haven't posted a new question. It'll go up this week.
All right. So yeah, we do shoot a video every month for those who are in the Patreon. Speaking of which, next week for our Tuesday show, we are doing an Ask Us Anything. So prep your questions. Feel free to shoot us an email, loadingsnacks@gmail.com. If you would like to ask us a question or just make sure you're tuned in, we'll be in the chat. Seriously, talking about whatever. Anything you guys want to talk about. Pop culture stuff, personal stuff, whatever. Y'all start digging too deep. We're going to let you know. But ask us anything. We kind of want to do something like that probably once a month. What do you think?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, do what you do, Jimmy. Do what you do, Jimmy, so I can do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Especially next week. Just ask me all about Spider-Man. I'm upset you wasn't in there on Tuesday.
Oh.
You've been upset at the fire. I buried Batman in like a 10-foot grave.
Oh,
it's so bad.
Even a word.
Buried that. Get out of the comments, Jimmy.
Damn.
There we go. Oh.
Get out of the comments, Jimmy. You know what I mean? He's amazing.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
It says it right
He's spectacular. It's electric. Like
It's electric.
Woogie.
My guy. Jimmy, my guy. All right. Listen, we can ready to get all the way up out of here. Stop it, Jimmy. Get out of the comments. We appreciate you all tuning in. Please bear in mind that we have a charity stream coming up with our friends over at Uncanny Nerd for the 3Bs charity. This is a charity that is local that puts together like care baskets for women who have gone through breast cancer mastectomy surgery. And it is on behalf of another friend of ours whose wife is currently dealing with cancer. And so that is January 29th. It is a 24-hour stream from 8 p.m. until 8 p.m. the following day, so that Friday into Saturday. And thank you, Jimmy. And we are going to be participating. We are going to be doing the top 10 DC animated films. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. That is going to be a good one. For those of you who know J. Robert Deans, who's usually in the comments, he is banned from that.
Since he's banned, I won't make
banned from that joint. But that will definitely be a good time. So y'all keep that in mind. Mark that on your calendars. We will see you all next week. We appreciate it. With that, we're out. Toodles and loose. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.